Come on, Derek. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Coach, how did the scrimmage go yesterday in general?
It went well. Guys was flying around. We stayed pretty healthy, but you had heard some pass hitting and guys getting out there. I thought it was a good scrimmage. Both sides of the ball. We did some really good things, and we did some things that we got to be better at, both offensively and defensively. But overall, I thought it was a good scrimmage considered the situations that we were in. It was good.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
We're less than 2 weeks now until first game. When do you plan on naming a starting quarterback?
Before the Boise game, before we play it. I promise you we will have a starting quarterback, and I promise you we will announce it before we play that game. But don't necessarily have a timetable when we're going to name a starting quarterback. When we feel like it's right and best that we do it, we'll do it. And like I said, I promise you I'm going to announce it, and I promise you it's going to be before the Boise game.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
That being said, how close has this competition been at quarterback?
It's been really close. I've been impressed with all three guys. Just the competition going back and forth, and they all has gotten rep with the ones and the twos, and to see, like I said last week, to see those guys being able to execute the offense, whether they're in there with the ones or the twos, was really impressive to me, and all three guys were able to do that. And just watching the scrimmage yesterday, again, I was impressed with those guys, especially taking care of the football, and then just running the offense, and even Jordan Travis got in and did some really good things in the scrimmage yesterday, and he said they all threw touchdowns, and they took care of the ball.
Coach, how's the offensive line shaping up for you?
They're shaping up pretty well. They're bigger, they're stronger, and they're playing well together. Again, we're making some plays, and to see us make some plays on our defenses, it's good to see, and it all starts up front. Just seeing those guys, the synergy that they have, and playing with one another, it's been good to see. And I'm excited where those guys are, and I'm also excited we have 2 more weeks to be ready for Boise. So if they continue the process and the progress that they're making right now, then we'll all be happy.
Coach, with the changes on defense, just what have you seen from the pass rush, and just has it gotten home as much as you'd hoped it would?
That's kind of set-up question right there, okay? Because I don't want it to get home against our offense, But no, I would say I've been impressed. Like I always said, I've been impressed with what Coach Barnett is doing on defense, and how he's utilizing our guys to create pass rush, and utilizing our guys to be in position to create takeaways, get the ball back for our it's been going well in practice. There's been some good, there's been some bad, but I'm happy with where we're at, and kind of like I said about the O-line, glad that we have 2 more weeks to continue to get sharp on some things and to be ready to roll. But I like it because we can find different ways to create pressure, not just one player doing it, but you can get there a lot of different ways. So excited about it.
Stay over there and go to Ryan.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
When we got a chance to talk to Coach Briles a little bit ago, he talked about how you both felt it was imperative for Randy Clements to come in with him. Just how useful has it been to have a guy who's been around Coach Briles for so long when you're installing a new scheme? How useful has it been for the offensive line to be able to get up to speed with a guy who knows exactly what his OC is looking for?
Well, I think it's great when you have it all go back to chemistry and being on the same page. And when you got 11 guys, you're trying to get on the same page. It's imperative that they all, coaches and all, know exactly what's going on. And that's helped us tremendously, being on the same page. Not only has it helped the players, but it helped the other coaches that's on the offense side of the ball too, being on the same page and being able to execute. But I also think it helps having a year in the system and a year of understanding, again, tempo. I mean, from a play standpoint, you'll see a lot of the same plays. You know, we just go about teaching it differently and operating it a little differently than the past. So I think they both do a good job of teaching, and that's, again, imperative to having success on the offense side of the ball and the showing and just some of the execution that's going on in practice.
Hey, Coach, throughout the year, something that you said you wanted to see is competitive depth throughout the roster, you know, especially with some of the injuries that you've had. How have you seen that on display so far?
Actually, it's, I don't know, I should say it's been good because you want your players out there working with us, but our younger guys are getting a lot more reps, and you can see them getting better because of the reps, and I think that's going to pay off for us big time as we get into the season. Again, like you said earlier, we want some competitive depth, and it was imperative in training camp that we try to create that. And unfortunately, we had some guys go down, but fortunately, these guys are being able to get reps, and you see them improving daily, even some of the freshman guys that just got here, being able to get the amount of reps that they're getting now is really paying off for them.
I'll go back, top left of the court.
Yeah, Coach, through halfway through camp now, who are maybe a few of the true freshmen that absolutely will not redshirt?
I can't necessarily say absolutely it will not redshirt, but I can see a lot of those guys playing. You kind of put me on the spot. I can name a few, and if I don't name one, I get in trouble. So all of our guys have a chance to play, and I know that's not necessarily the answer you want, but I don't want my players mad at me. I'm just playing. I can see a guy like Travis J, Akeem Dent, Brendan Gant. I'm thinking about in the secondary, Brownlee, Green. I mean, all those guys are pretty good. Woody, the third, they're pretty talented. You watch the scrimmage, you're like, wow. You know, some of these kids just came out of high school, you know, but they're very competitive. So we're not going to put any limits on them. You know, we're going to allow those guys to continue to compete, and if they can help us, we're going to play them and allow them to help us, you know, but we're going to make sure we're playing the right guys. And same thing at linebacker position. Kevon Green has been very, very impressive at linebacker. I've been really, really impressed with that young man. I can see him possibly helping us too. I mean, he's been really, really impressive. But same as Deloach and Quayshawn Fuller up front. We talk about Dante Lucas doing a good job. Mari Smith is another kid that's been really impressive on the offensive line, and Ira Henry as well. You know, so I named a few for you. Fellas, if I didn't name you, I still love you, and I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, I promise.
Willie, you spoke during the offseason about how difficult it was for some of the players to go through a coaching change. Cam is a guy who also saw tremendous production his freshman year and then didn't have that success last year. Some reasons probably he's accountable for, but others around him. How have the last 8 or 9 months gone with him? Did he ever waver? Did he think about seeing what else was out there, or has he been committed?
Cam's been committed from day one. I mean, you look on him, he got it tattooed on him. You know, he's been a Nole. He's a Nole through and through. And I feel like towards the end of last season, Cam kind of really committed himself to being the very best back that he can be, and you start to see a difference there towards the end of the season in him, and then this entire offseason. I think he's committed to being the best Cam he can be, and I say that not just football, just academically as well. You know, Cam is been top-notch academically, off the field. He's been top-notch and just being a leader on this football team. And watching him in practice in that scrimmage yesterday, I think Cam's going to be back in Cam freshman mode. And necessarily, we don't want him to be the freshman mode. We want him to be better than the freshman mode. But I also think he's mature and he understood, again, what we went through. And also understand that what we got to do in order to not see that again. So I think he's committed to doing that.
The secondary, obviously, a lot comes back from last year, but it seems like you just mentioned all those freshmen when talking about how impressive they've been. I guess, how impressed have you been with really that entire freshman DB class, and what can them kind of pushing as hard as they can do for those vets who are kind of trying to keep their spots?
Well, like I said, I'm very impressed with all those guys, and I think every defensive back, even the older guys, will tell you they're impressed with them as well. But those guys, just because I'm impressed with them doesn't mean they have jobs. They got to take jobs. And the guys that's in front of them also understand that they can take the job. And I think because of that competitiveness, it's allowed us to get better overall. Everybody's gotten better back there. And it's competitive every single day. Those guys are getting after it. And it's pretty cool when you can rotate some guys in there and still get the same production out of it. So, again, that's how it should be. And, again, it's making each other better. And practice is, like I say, is very, very competitive because of it.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Yeah. Last year you spoke about when you handed over the play calling to Walt Bell, just how it freed you up a bit to be able to do some things at practice. Do you feel that same level of comfort this year, and how has the transition been with Briles?
I feel better this year. I feel better about everything this year. Focus is so much better as a team. I love our chemistry as a team, as a staff. And I love being able to go around and help out at every spot and help coach every spot and making sure we're doing what we say we're going to do. And that's been fun for me personally. And I'm sure our players, I don't know, sometimes they might get tired of seeing me around, but it's been good just to be around and helping out in every aspect and learning. You still learning too, but it's been good. And I trust all of our guys. Not just Coach Briles. And again, being able to go around and watch our guys teach and drill. And I think when you see it yourself, there's no need to worry about anything or trust. You know that they're doing what we say we're going to do and getting our guys better. And I'm happy with that out of all of our guys.
Coach, I think when you were at USF, you visited Baylor and to learn more about their offense. How much of that was a factor in bringing in Coach Briles and Coach Clemens?
It was huge because of sharing the same philosophy and Coach Briles understanding exactly what I'm trying to get out of our offense, and Coach Briles had success doing it. I think that's probably bigger than anything. Is not only he knew what we wanted, but he's had success doing it everywhere it's been. And so for our players, and not to try to reinvent the wheel was very, very important too, and make sure our guys continue to grow in what we're trying to get accomplished.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Have you sat down with Coach Briles yet to kind of figure out how your game flow or your workflow is going to be on a game week? And then also in-game, how interactive will you be in that offense? Because I know you guys go so fast, so it's going to be hard to really be too interactive with it.
It won't be hard to interact. When I want something, I would love to see this. It'll be pretty simple. But I think, again, as a play caller myself, you kind of understand when and when not to say something to someone when they're in the rhythm and they got a flow going. But again, if there's something that I see or want, then I'm going to say and get, whether it's offensively or the defense side of the ball. So, but I think, again, being a play caller and understanding that myself, I think you know when and when not to kind of interrupt the guy that's in rhythm and got it going.
I guess the other thing was like during the week, if you guys figure out how that's going to work out, you guys just, certain times during the week you sit down, scout the opponent, do that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. We have game preparation where we all sit down and meet and talk about the game plan going into that week and what we're going to do in certain situations and making sure that we're all on the same page. So usually that's early in the week of game week where we talk about that game and what we're going to do. And, again, like in certain situations, exactly what we're going to do in those certain situations. So those things will be talked out early in the week, each week of each opponent that we play.
Coach, with the tempo, just how far has it come during fall camp, and how did you think the offense handled the tempo in the spring or in the scrimmage?
It's gotten better. It's a lot better than where we were before. And again, like I say, having a year of understanding it always help our guys. Again, that last year was a lot of change with a lot of young guys, so it took a minute. I think the way we operating it now is different than what we did last year. It's a little faster, and I think the way we operate allow us to go faster, but it also simplifies some things for guys so that we can go faster and not having as many mistakes as we did before, and that's always good. And not that they're gone completely, but it's so much better, But I think that happens with reps and a better understanding and knowing what to do, But again, having guys that understand it and can coach it helps as well.
Hey, Willie, we've heard a lot about Kendall Browse, how he's competitive, how he's really hands-on, and I know we've asked a lot about how he is an X and O's guys and scheme, but what have you seen from him personality-wise, and what is he bringing to the offense and to the program in general?
Well, Kendall's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a good football coach. I think he does a great job of teaching our guys, and I've been really impressed just how he's got our staff on the same page and working well together. I think that's really important. In order for the entire offense to go, they all got to be on the same page. And I thought he's come in and done a great job of getting that done, and we getting some results behind it. It's been pretty cool to watch. So he's good. He's a good dude. Good to talk to. He's funny. Kind of a little chip on the shoulder, and kind of like our team, but he's a football coach.
And then Willie had a follow-up, but maybe surprising. We have readers asking a lot about Marvin Wilson and Tamorrion Terry. Are you still optimistic about those guys being ready for Boise at this time?
You don't believe me, do you?
I believe you, but I have a lot of people asking me about it. So.
Yeah, those guys will be ready. We're getting there. I think you probably see a little more out of both of them this upcoming week. So they both are rehabbing really well. Saw Terry run 2 days ago and was impressed. And I know they're eager to get back out there and get going. So I'm sure they'll be back soon.
We got time for a couple more. We'll go back to the right.
Coach, you mentioned that the team has a chip on its shoulder.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about where they are in terms of their confidence and what you've done in the offseason to, restore the swagger of the team and of the program?
Well, I think to restore that swagger that comes with winning, and our guys understand we got to win to get anything that we want. We got to go and win. But I think with our football team, now our guys understanding what it takes to win. You just don't show up on Saturdays and think you're going to win a ball game. And those little things that we asking them to do, they're doing them now. And they're holding their teammates accountable to doing those things, to setting the standard to what we want it to be, and making sure everybody within the program is doing it that way. And our players are doing that now. But they also understand that in order to change any perception we have of our football team, you do that by winning. So we got to do the little things daily and the big details and what it takes to win. And again, I'm excited because our guys are starting to understand those little things now and that they do matter. And And I think if they continue to do that, then winning will come, and they all will be excited, and they all will get back to their confidence and how they felt when they decided to come to Florida State University.
Back over to Wayne.
They
Coach,
got from the way.
what's
I gotta go
the,
take a picture. Here we go.
what's the biggest difference? You know, you've been here. This is your second fall practice. What's the biggest difference between this time this year and this time last year?
I think the focus out of everyone, and the effort out of everyone. I mean, it's consistently. You're getting it daily out of our guys and our staff, and that's been impressive. But that's how it should be in year two. You know, the focus is there. Our players want to practice. You know, we hadn't had a practice where we didn't want to practice. You know, I thought IMG was great for our guys because we had a lot of sudden change because of the weather, and they could have easily just said, no, I don't want to do it, or just didn't feel like going back out there. And but our guys came out focused, and those practices was kind of some of our best practice. And I was impressed with, again, just how they respond to that, but just their love for wanting to be out there to get better now, and that's part of it.
Last one, Alpha.
Coach, kind of going along with that, just for you, what have you learned from year one to year two, and maybe something that, I don't know, that you've tried to approach differently heading into this fall camp compared to last year?
Well, I learned everything about this university, and have a better understanding of pretty much everything around here. And sometimes you can take that for granted. You know, you go to a new place, and there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of people you got to learn, and a lot of different things other than just football. You know, but understanding our players better, and which has been great, but also understanding what our players need. It's probably been better than anything, and making sure that we get them what they need, and then making sure our players live up to their part of the bargain too. You know, so I don't think you ever stop learning. I'm gonna learn something new this year. You know, but I do like where our football team is. I like where our staff is, and we got 2 more weeks and to continue to get better. But I'm gonna be excited to see our guys go out and compete and show you all what the new 2019 FSU football team is. Can't wait. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Go Noles.